It's Spread Eagle right here on your Classic Metal Show with Through These Eyes, going on by way of...
Disappointed!
by way of email request to our good friend Sal in the chat room. I love you guys.
Oh, well. Some of the people in the chat room didn't love that.
I don't know, man. It's Skid Row to me.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm not a huge fan of that song myself, to be perfectly honest, but whatever.
Whatever, man. Well, isn't it weird that Skid Row, Spread Eagle, and Pin Siren all come out of New Jersey, and they all have very similar sound?
Yeah, it must be in the water.
That's what I'm thinking. It's very strange how all three of those bands are very, very similar.
Right.
So, interesting stuff. I want to kind of throw out a little memorial or memorem for our good friend Motorhome, who passed away this week.
Yeah, how about that, dude, huh?
It's just like, wow. You know, you always hate to hear about, obviously I've never met him. I know you haven't either, but our good friend Tom and Motorhome, he started out as Motorhead, and I changed it to Motorhome when he said that he and his chick split up and he was living in a motorhome. And that's how he got his name. It was Tom and Motorhead who would always call into the show, hanging out in the barn, listening to the CMS.
Listen to us in the barn, exactly.
Yeah. So when he left his chick and they split up, and he decided he was going to live mobile, I said, "Yeah, you're no longer Motorhead, you're Motorhome."
That's right.
And unfortunately, he passed away this week.
Yeah, now he's motor dead.
Yeah. So
bummer. I like Shane a lot. I mean, him and we did talk a lot, actually, on Facebook. And he was a good dude, man. And, boy, what a bummer. You know, it's a bummer to see any of our CMS faithful, except for the complainers about the pre-records, die.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, he was a good one. I mean, people could say about, he was a good caller and this and that, but he's a good dude. And,
yeah.
And him and Tom are, outside of Tom the Scott and Motorhome, you know, getting to know them a little bit, at least through Facebook, they were both good dudes. So, you know, definitely was a bummer to me. I was like, God damn it, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
And I talked to Tom this week, and he's pretty tore up about it.
Well,
but,
of course. I mean, that was his compadre, his drinking buddy.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. So, bummer. You're absolutely right. It was definitely a bummer.
Yeah, young guy too, 45.
Yeah, 45 and done.
Yeah, and then the same thing happened to our good friend long-haired Mike almost 4 years ago.
Yeah,
he was
45.
He was only 45.
Yeah. So
just died of a heart attack out in the snow.
I guess 45 is the new 27.
Well,
huh?
you know, I'll tell you a personal story.
Right.
It really got into my head. You know, in my family anyway, we don't have any history of any kind of heart problems or any kind of diseases or degenerative type of diseases or anything like that. But when I turned 42, it just fucked with my head. I thought I was having a heart attack almost every day.
Why?
I don't know the reason why, because 42 seems to be a number. Elvis died at 42. It just seemed like 42 was a number. That's just like, right. Oh, you're 42. That's heart attacks, territory. And it was all psychological, obviously. But for some reason, I just got this in my head. Oh, man, I'm 42. I'm going to die of a heart attack.
I mean, you're in good shape, dude. You don't really drink or anything. You're going to live to be 100.
Again, I know that. Rationally, I know that. Psychologically, it gets to you.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I guess it's all in the perspective of how you evaluate your life and whatever. If you still think you have more shit to do, and you're trying to do some different things, because I mean, let's face it, I might not live to kickoff in the morning, but I've done everything that I want to do. So if I did die, live, somewhere tonight before the morning comes, whatever.
Yeah.
I've done it.
Well,
I've done what I wanted.
But for some reason at that time, and again, it was just me doing it to myself psychologically.
Right.
And I don't know the reason why. Obviously, this was 13 years ago already.
Sure.
But at that time, for some reason, it was just like, oh, man, that day's going to come, and I'm just going to have a heart attack. And I don't know why. 42 was just weird. It was a weird thing, and, well, here it is. We have two guys that we know at 45 that they just died.
Yeah.
And, again, I don't know. I didn't know Shane at all as far as, like, one-on-one relationship, but 45, that's pretty young. And of course we knew our good friend long-haired Mike, and that guy was in shape, and he was a singer, and he worked, and he didn't smoke, and he didn't abuse alcohol or drugs as far as I know. And he's out there shoveling snow and just died. It's like, holy shit. I mean, of course it could have been genetic.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the details, but boy, when you hear something like that, that's just like, wow, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's crazy. It definitely is nuts.
Yeah. So when you hear about that, you hate to hear about that, and you kind of it kind of centers you for a minute, and you think, wow, life is short.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's other people like a Vince Neil who's out there, living like a slug, and nothing ever stops that guy, or even a Keith Richards.
Yeah, Keith Richards.
Keith Richards. This guy's 70, whatever he is, 72 years old or something, and smokes and had hard partying days and drugs, and he may still even do some of that. I have no idea. And he literally killed death with drugs. He did.
And
he's still going. He's still playing stadiums and arenas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you just never know.
Yeah, I mean, dude, healthy people die. Fat pieces of shit like me live to be 100. You never know.
You never know.
Although, let's be honest, there's not a whole lot of fat guys that are in their 70s, so I think I know my path.
Well, there's Dom DeLuise.
Is he still alive?
I don't know. Is he still alive? Look him up. Dom DeLuise? I think he's still alive. I'm not sure. Or Pavarotti.
Dom DeLuise is dead for 10 years now. And he lived to be like 70.
There you go.
Who's the other one? Pavarotti?
Yeah, Pavarotti.
Pavarotti is dead. He lived fairly old, though. He was 71.
Yeah, there you go.
So 70's the number. So I'll be 51 in a month. So I have like 19 years at best.
Yeah.
I got like 3 years at best. I'm almost done.
Really?
Fucking feel it.
You sure?
I fucking feel it, dude.
What is that? What, dude? I'm 55. I'll be 56 this year.
Right.
And again, I just have to. I have this mindset. I just got to take one day at a time.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to plod through life and just go, oh, it's another day. Oh, I got to go to work. Oh, I come home, and I try to think of things that I hope I could do this, and someday I want to do that, or I want to try to do this.
Yeah.
I don't know when the clock is ticking.
I obviously haven't stopped doing stuff. I mean, I'm out living hard is what I'm doing these days.
Well, you have. I mean, in the last year and a half, you've gotten out more in the last year and a half than you have in the last 10 years.
Of course, yeah. I finally got over divorce hangover, and it was like, fuck it, time to go run.
And you have. You go to a lot of shows, you hang out, you go, meet up with your friends, you periodically you throw little parties at your house.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously you do this show most of the year, even though the
Except
liner
for last week.
And so, yeah, you do a lot of things as well as I do. I mean, obviously, the things that I do, unfortunately, I have to travel to do. I just don't have. Unfortunately, I just don't have that option to do something close by.
Right.
I have to go. I have to go do them.
Right. No, I'm dude. I just decided. I don't know. Probably about 2 years ago that I wasn't like, I mean, I was partying really a lot when I first got divorced.
Oh,
as you
you think? I don't remember that.
I was drinking and partying my ass off.
What? I don't remember that.
But then I had to kind of step back from it a little bit because I needed to be responsible for a few years to get Pinball PA off the ground.
Right.
But once Pinball PA kind of got itself set to see, to where it's to do what it's going to do, then I was like, you know what? I've only got X number of days left, and there's not a lot. And it's like, I better fucking enjoy the shit out of them as best I can. And, and I got lucky because Kelly likes to do the same shit that I do. So, we're constantly going to shows or going to, restaurants or bars or just at her house, And I enjoy that too. There's nothing wrong with, believe me, I love just sitting at her house, singing Zeppelin tunes, getting drunk out of my mind and smoking pot. I love it. I love it. There's nothing, that's as good to me as going to a show, is just sitting there with a vape pen full of fucking pot and shots of Fireball and chasing it with Jack and water. There's nothing better than that. That's fun to me.
Mm-hmm.
And is that going to keep me alive till I'm 71? Very doubtful. Well, whatever. You know what I've done? What else do I got to do? I've traveled the world. I've written all these books. I've done 10,000 hours of classic metal show. The only thing I ever wanted to do in my life was be on the radio. I've done that. I've done it successfully. Whether people believe it or not, for our little ecosystem that we've built something that's pretty damn big, at least in our little world. I've built businesses. I've been married. I have kids. What else is there? There's really nothing else. Grandkids. No. See, that deep cut, that is the nonsense that a mom would spew. You must be a chick. You must be a chick. That is a mom thing. Fucking grandkids. I have 3 kids, and I love my kids to death. And nothing, there is nothing that I want to do less than welcome their child to the world. I don't want to babysit their fucking kids. I don't want to spend time with their fucking kids. I don't want to buy little outfits for their kids. I don't want to watch their kids half grow until I die. No. I don't want to be a grandpa. No. Grandkids. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, you don't want to bounce a little guy on your knee?
No, I don't. I won't think it's cute when the 3-year-old calls me Papa. No.
Papa.
I won't think it's fun to dress up like Santa Claus for my grandkid.
Yeah.
I don't want to do any of that shit. None of it.
That's the whole thing, man. I'm 55 now, and I still have people, don't you regret not having children? It's like, that never even crossed my mind even a day in my life. Never. It's never crossed my mind. Man, I wish I had kids. It's like, that never even, just the thought of that even makes me nauseous today.
Yeah. Well, if people want grandkids, that's fine. If people want kids, that's fine. I don't. No. Yeah, there's nothing to that sounds good to me. Nothing. You know what it says to me? You're on your way to death. That's really, when you say your grandpa whatever, that's just officially acknowledging that somebody should be digging a hole for you somewhere. That's what it means. Yep, gonna be fucking worm food soon.
Yeah.
Because I'm grandpa. And God forbid you make it to great grandpa. Then you're almost dust. No fucking thank you. I want none of it.
Well, here's the funny thing is years ago, this was 30 years ago. I dated a girl. She was a little older than me. I was 20. How old was I? I was 24. She was 30.
Right.
And she had her first child at 16. That's teenage mother, right?
Okay.
So her daughter was 16, and it's the whole cycle thing. You're influenced by your cycle. Her daughter had a child at 16.
Right.
So she was a grandma at 32.
Oh.
Can you imagine that?
No.
32-year-old grandma, and she's still young enough to have, if she wanted to, still have children. I could still be popping out babies while my offspring is popping off babies.
That's just terrible.
I know, isn't that something?
32 and having grandkids.
Yeah.
Oh my God. She's a candidate to have great grandkids. A strong candidate.
Yeah, absolutely.
She might have great grandkids if she lives to be like 90.
Well, in my, there's a picture of my brother who's 10 years older than me to the day. Oddly enough. And there's a picture that we took at a family reunion 40 years ago. Actually, my niece got married today, as a matter of fact.
Okay, wow.
And she's 40 years old.
Okay.
We had 5 generations alive at one time.
Wow.
There was my father's grandmother, my father's father, my father, my brother, and then his daughter.
How old was your father's grandmother?
She was almost 100.
What was your grandfather?
At that time, he was probably close to 80. Yeah.
And your dad was 60?
Yeah, he was, at that time, my mom was still alive. So I'm thinking he's like 55, maybe.
Oh. That's crazy shit there.
And
Jesus
then my
Christ.
brother was, how old was my brother? I think my brother was in his mid to late 20s. And then his daughter was just, like a year old or something.
Is that 5 or 6?
That's 5.
Grandpa?
No, it's my father's grandmother, which was his father's mother.
That's 1. Your dad is 2.
No, then my grandpa.
Grandpa's 2.
2. Then my dad. That's 3. Then my brother. That's 4. And then his daughter. That's 5.
So, and is the oldest dead now?
Oh yeah, she died years ago.
Who knows? She might be 110. All I know.
But at one point, there were 5 generations all living at the same time.
Jesus Christ. That's always crazy when you meet somebody and you're like, hey, do you remember the news of the Titanic?
Now, do you remember when Lincoln was president?
Yes. Yeah, I remember when they gave me my first penny.
Yeah, I remember when Lincoln got shot. I was only 6 at the time, but I remember Lincoln got shot.
My pappy was teaching me how to pack a musket. Oh my God.
Yeah. So there you are. Yeah, I mean, the longevity in some families, it's obviously a genetic trait.
Right.
So, yeah, my niece, my brother's daughter, got married today for first time at 40 years old in Washington, and here I am doing the show.
Only took her to 40 to be stupid.
Well, no, I guess. I mean, because she's had a career. And I talked about it last week on the show that she's had a career working for the government and being an oceanographer. So, yeah, she's at that point now. It's just like, yeah, I guess I'm getting married now. It's like, well, I don't think that, again, I don't know. I'm just guessing. I don't think that there's kids in the future. I don't think my brother is like going to have grandchildren. I mean, his daughter's 40 now. I mean, it's not that you can't have children after 40, but it's highly unlikely.
Yeah. No. I am very hopeful that my daughter's eggs dry the fuck up because I really want any fucking kids, grandkids. I cannot fathom having grandkids.
No.
Just is not something I want.
Yeah.